Hey guys, I'm Oxy and this is my double Halberd Asmongold build. So if you don't know who's Asmongold, he's a really popular Twitch streamer. He loves Elden Ring and he loves to run his double Halberd build. So in this video I'm gonna try to recreate his build and even improve it a little bit. Now let's start with my stats. This character is crazy high level, but on the screen I'm gonna put you the necessary stats requirement in order to run this build properly. I think this build is reaching his peak around level 130, 150, so it's definitely an end game type of build, and it's gonna be even more stronger in the new game plus. And if you want to make this build even more stronger, just keep leveling up. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube that are showing you how to level up fast in this game. It's not that hard really. Now let's go to my equipment. So as I said, we do use the halberds. I actually use three type of halberds on this build. I have two golden halberds, both of them on max. I have the commander standard, both of them on +9, and I do have the gargoyles heavy halberd. Now as Mongol usually do use the golden halberd and the gargoyle halberd. Now, he doesn't like to use Ashes of Wars or spells or incantations, but in order to get more damage with the Gargoyle Halberd, we need to put Ash of War on it and choose the heavy affinity. If you choose the heavy one, you're gonna get more physical damage. But I also did pick some useful Ashes of Wars on these halberds. So the Giant Hunt is extremely useful on the halberd, and you're gonna see why in a bit. And in the other one, I did choose the Bloodhound Staff because I did see that Asmongold it's struggling a lot against really fast enemies, and this build generally it's struggling against really fast enemies. So with the Bloodhound Staff, you can take distance or you can get close to your target really fast. Now, when we're going to the Commander Standard and the Golden Halberd, as you can see, both of them are unique boss weapons with their own unique skill. Now, the Golden Halberd does have the Golden Vow, which is raising your damage and your damage resistance, and Commander Standard have basically the same thing with Relaying Standard. Which one of them is stronger? Well, the Golden Halberd is gonna do about 1009 damage, and the Commander Standard is gonna do about 1085. It's not that big of difference, but it's really up to you which one you want to use. Now, when we go into the armor, I do have the Omen Smirk Mask. This one is raising your strength by 2 points. I also do use the Raptor's Black Feather. This one, it's enhancing jump attacks, and we're gonna do a lot of jump attacks with this build in order to get more damage. I also do use the Bull Goat Gauntlet and the Bull Goat Graves because, well, it's pretty much the most tankiest armor in the game, and since the Raptor's Black Feather doesn't offer a lot of protection, well, we're gonna need to compensate that with the Bull Goat Gauntlets and the Graves, but you can pick which type of armor you prefer. Really, I just want to be a little bit more tankier. Now, when we're going to the talismans, I do have the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, enormously boosts physical damage negation, again because the Raptor's Black Feather doesn't offer a lot of protection. We do have the Claw Talisman, which enhances jump attacks. It's a good combination with the Raptor's Black Feather. Both of them are enhancing jump attacks. I do have the Earth 3 Favor, raise maximum HP, stamina, and equipment load. Since I have basically 6 halberds equipped, my equipment load needs to be quite high in order to not fat roll and be quite fast in battle. That's why I have the Great Jar Arsenal. It's again boosting the equipment load. Now, when we're going to the Flask of Wondrous Physics, I know that Asmongold doesn't like to use this one. I did see him using it sometimes, sometimes not. But basically what mix I choose in this one is significantly negating damage. Basically it's giving you the shield, which is absorbing 99% of one attack. And the other one is helping us to break stances against enemies. So basically enemies that are using shields or they are blocking a lot, it's going to be much more easier to break their stance and do damage on them. Now let's talk about the weapons a little bit. So I do power stance the golden halberd. I have two of them. Generally, halberds, when you power stance them, have a really good movement, as you can see. Not the fastest one, but definitely really strong. Jump attacks with this build, it's also really easy to do and really nicely done. And don't forget that we do have the Raptor's Black Feather and the Claw Talisman, which is enhancing jump attacks. So yeah, this build is really made for a lot of jump attacks. As damage right now we're doing over 900 damage, but again don't forget that the golden halberd does have the golden wow, and after that we're gonna have over 1000 damage, and that over 1000 damage is gonna be enhanced obviously by jump attacks, by the claw talisman and the raptor's black feather, which is gonna put us probably really high in the terms of damage. So damage is not a problem with this build. Now I do use also the Gargoyle Halberd. On this one, I do have the Giant Hunt skill. This one is basically a quick stab and a poke. It's really good if you want to break the stance of enemies, especially if they use shields. It's going through the shield and it's just poking them in the air, and after they just gonna remain on the floor and staggered for a little bit. So that's a good pick if you want to use Ashes of Wars. Another one that I do use on my other halberd is the quick stab. This one is quite useful, especially when you fight a lot of enemies, because as you can see the movement it's really good with the halberd, but it's not the fastest one. So when you fight enemies that are extremely fast, well, you can just take the distance or get close to them really fast for very less FP. It's not costing you a lot to use Bloodhound step. Now let's talk about the commander's standard. This one again, the same movement as any other halberd, but this one have another skill. As damage wise, we're doing over 900 damage, but when we gonna buff up, we're gonna get 1085. So slightly more damage that you get with the golden halberd. So it's really up to you which one you want to pick. I think both of them are a really good choice. Now keep in mind that both of them are unique boss weapons. So in order to get a second one, you're gonna need to start a new game plus or ask one of your friends to give it to you basically so you can power stance it. Yeah. They really need to find a way in this game in order to obtain weapons for power stancing. A much more easier way not to start a new game plus or to trade it with somebody, especially if you're like me and don't have friends. And this is basically how Asmongold is using the build. It's using the golden halberd and after the gargoyle on his other hand, and it's working quite well. You just buff up with golden wow and your damage is gonna be quite high, so you can't complain really about the damage with these halberds. The damage it's over there and it's enhanced a lot by jump attacks. The only weakness of this build, I would say, it's his tankiness. He's not the tankiest build and not the fastest build, but hey, we can't have everything, right? Now, where can you get the Raptor's Black Feather? It's right here in the Sage Cave in the Atlas Plateau. Now, this cave is absolutely full with illusionary walls, so take your time because the Raptor's Black Feather is gonna be in a chest behind an illusionary wall. So don't rush, there's a lot of good loot inside that cave, really. Now let's go, where can you get the mask, which is raising your strength. It's gonna be right here. You're gonna see the description of the site of grace right now on the screen. Sadly, I don't have it because I finished the game. I don't want to spoil anything. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. That's the place where you get the mask, it's gonna be a church. In that church, it's the Lionel armor. Outside the church, there is an enemy. Kill that enemy, and you get the mask. Now, when it's about the Gargoyle Halberd, you can get that one here. Again, I don't have a Sight of Grace over there anymore, but you're gonna see the description of that Sight of Grace on the screen. Go over there, it's gonna be a gargoyle, kill it, and you get the halberd with no problem. I don't think I need to show you where you're getting the golden halberd. Our friend the tree sentinel probably already saw him and you know where to get that one. Now, when it's about incantations, Asmongold doesn't like to use them, but I would recommend you the standard ones. Flames gain me strength, it's raising your physical damage, so, well, you can't go wrong with that, it's just more damage. Also, Golden Wow, I would suggest you to get it, but you already have it on the Golden Halberd. So another one that I would suggest you to get would be Law of Casualty. Now this one is quite interesting and probably you never heard about this one. Basically what it does, if you get hit like 3 or 4 times by an enemy, it's gonna do like a big energy explosion, push back all the enemies and even kill them. It's quite good, this incantation, and it's really good for any type of melee build, especially when you're in a boss battle or when you're fighting multiple enemies at the same time. And this is it. This is my double harbored as Mongol build. I think it's a pretty strong build, does have its weaknesses, but well, which build doesn't have its weakness in this game? We can't have everything, can we? Overall, a really strong build. I really like it and definitely gonna use it more. So if you like this kind of videos, press the like button, maybe subscribe, maybe watch my other build videos because nobody really are watching them, which is kind of sad. But anyway, thank you very much for watching and see you guys in the next one.